designed to Royal Air Force requirement for a light Tempest. You will have heard of the Tempest, also flown by Air Leasing, but sadly not able to be with us here today. But this is a very effective fighter. Eventually, it began life very much as a ground attack aircraft, but a lighter version, it was argued, would make a better fighter. And the Fury was built in the same general arrangement as the Hawker Tempest, but with a reduced wingspan, and with the Tempest same Bristol Centaurus engine, an absolutely meaty, massive powerhouse right at the sharp end of this aircraft. Flying this aircraft today is Andy Durston, a man who's lived and breathed aviation since he was a teenager. He started by way of an RAF flying scholarship at Manston and continued towards his PPL at age 17, and started also gliding at 19 at Lyon-Solent. Joined the University Air Squadron, a great thoroughbred route for so many pilots in the modern military today. Joining the Royal Navy in 2005 and moving on to train on fast jets and the Hawk and Harrier before the Harrier was taken out of service in 2010. Now a commercial pilot, also flown other warbirds as well, but spending a lot of time helping his chums developing the ultimate warbirds operation at Sidewell with Air Leasing. And what a tremendous sound that is, isn't it? It's fantastic machine, a fantastic engine. Had quite an interesting lifespan. This constructed as a Fury ISS, and I don't mean the International Space Station there, I mean an Iraqi single seat, unsurprisingly for the Iraqi Air Force. It was part of a contract of 60 aircraft. Eventually being dispatched towards the end of its life by a gentleman in Orlando in Florida, taken out of Iraq in 1979. And then, like so many of these warbirds, passing through a series of hands before being eventually brought back to UK. That wonderful Bristol Centaurus 18-cylinder radial supercharged engine producing 2,500 horsepower there. Really meaty beast. Got a fuel load of 183 gallons. Gives it about 2 hours flying time at a speed of around 230 knots, but it does have a maximum speed up to 425 knots. This aircraft was brought back to UK by her owners, Anglia Aircraft Restorations, refurbished and repainted by Air Leasing, and the colours of one of the Hawker's Sea Fury prototypes. The code number for that one was Sierra Romeo 661, which was a modified Mark II Fury. As a navalised version, Sea Fury, this mark and class of aircraft had the distinction of being the only piston engine fighter to shoot down a jet-powered fighter during the course of the Korean War. A notable achievement. With a range of around 500 miles, able to carry 4 20mm Hispano Mark V auto cannons, 12 3-inch rockets, or 2,000 pounds worth of bombs. After his military flying period, Andy, along with his friend John Gowdy, purchased 2 RV4 vans, and you may well have seen them flying here in the past as the Fireflies aerobatic display team, both in the day and the night. But they've since moved on, and particularly when Richard Grace, who runs Air Leasing, invited Andy to fly the Spitfire, the well-known and famous Grace Spitfire, and since then he hasn't turned back. You can go flying with the company that Andy's working with at Air Leasing. They've got a whole series of aircraft. You can fly in the 3, the Mustang, the Bouchon and the Spitfire. Bespoke packages are available. Just go to warbirdflights.co.uk and find out more about the outstanding team and operation they have up there. With a distinctly more impressive presence, you can see this is a machine that really is built for business, isn't it? And very strong construction. Nonetheless, with all that power and weight, still gingerly handled. All these pilots, real privilege to fly the historic Warbirds. And of course, the main aim to keep them going for as long as absolutely possible. And as enjoyable as this is, very sadly Andy calls up to say that he'll be making his last pass very shortly. So I think you know the procedure from here on, don't you? Whatever he's going to do, even if he's upside down, he'll be taking a quick peek out of the canopy to keep his eyes on you down there on the beach. And a wonderful sight and sound as he goes into his final maneuver.